"I can't afford a Barbie for your birthday," whispered the single mom, but the CEO's reaction. It was a cold morning in December when little Emily looked up at her mother, her eyes sparkling with innocent hope. "Mommy, can I have a Barbie for my birthday?" she whispered softly. Her mother, Claire, a single mom working 2 jobs, froze for a second. She smiled weakly, hiding the tears that threatened to fall. "Sweetheart, Mommy can't afford one this time," Emily nodded, pretending to understand. But her little heart sank. What neither of them knew was that a stranger nearby, a man in an expensive suit sipping his coffee, had overheard every word. He was a CEO, powerful and wealthy beyond imagination. Yet, something about that moment stirred something deep within him. What happened next would change not only Emily's birthday, but their entire lives forever. Claire had spent the entire week juggling shifts at the diner and cleaning offices at night. Every penny she earned went toward rent, groceries, and the mounting electricity bill. Emily's 8th birthday was only 2 days away, and though she wanted to make it special, the reality was cruel. She could barely afford a small cake. That morning, Claire took Emily to a local cafe before her school. It was their tiny ritual, one muffin shared between the two. Emily looked at the pink toy shop across the street, her face lighting up as she pressed her small hand against the glass. Inside, a shiny Barbie doll in a pink gown stood tall. "Dream Princess Barbie, Mommy, that's her. That's the one I told you about," Emily said, excitement filling her voice. Claire forced a smile, pretending to admire it too. But her heart ached. She knelt down and said gently, "Sweetheart, Mommy can't afford a Barbie for your birthday this time." Emily's little shoulders slumped. "That's okay, Mommy, maybe next year," she whispered, though her eyes lingered on the doll. At the next table, a man in a navy suit and gold watch lowered his newspaper. His name was Ethan Reynolds, CEO of a major toy company, Reynolds Toys, the same company that made that very Barbie. He watched the mother and daughter quietly, something tugging at his chest. The way the mother tried to hide her pain, and the way the little girl smiled through disappointment. It reminded him of his late wife and daughter, gone too soon, when they left the cafe. Ethan couldn't shake the image. He found himself staring out the window, lost in thought. That night, he asked his assistant to track down the little cafe's security footage. For once, the billionaire who had everything couldn't rest until he helped someone who had nothing. The next morning, Claire returned home after her night shift. Exhausted, she barely noticed the small pink box resting on her doorstep. A white envelope was attached. Confused, she opened it. Inside was a note that read, "Every little girl deserves to dream. Happy birthday, Emily, a friend." Claire's hands trembled as she opened the box. Inside was the Dream Princess Barbie, brand new, wrapped in gold ribbon. She gasped, covering her mouth. Who?" she whispered. When Emily woke up and saw the Barbie, her eyes widened with pure joy. "Mommy, she's real. You got her." Tears rolled down Claire's cheeks. "No, sweetheart. Someone very kind did." The mysterious act of kindness didn't stop there. Days later, Claire was called to the diner's manager's office. "A man came by earlier," he said. "He paid off your rent and left this." It was a card embossed with gold letters, Reynolds Group. Claire's breath caught. Why would a company CEO care about a waitress and her daughter? Meanwhile, Ethan watched quietly from a distance. He had instructed his assistant not to reveal his name. He didn't want gratitude or publicity. But when he saw photos of Emily clutching her Barbie and smiling brighter than ever, he felt peace he hadn't felt in years. Yet fate had other plans, because soon, their paths were about to cross again. Face to face, a few weeks later, the cafe held a small community fundraiser. Claire volunteered to serve, hoping to give back somehow. As she carried a tray of coffee cups, she almost bumped into a tall man in a tailored suit. "I'm so sorry, sir," she stammered. The man smiled warmly. "No harm done." It was Ethan. He looked at her, recognition flickering in his eyes. "You work at the diner near 5th Street, right?" "Yes, I do," Claire replied, a bit embarrassed. "You must be one of our regulars." Ethan smiled gently. "Something like that." He hesitated, then asked, "How's Emily?" Claire froze. "How do you?" she began, but he interrupted softly. "The Barbie. It was from me." Tears welled up instantly. "Sir, I don't know how to thank you." He shook his head. I didn't do it for thanks. Years ago, I lost my wife and daughter in an accident. I couldn't give her another birthday. When I saw you and Emily, I saw them. I just wanted her to have what my little girl never could." Claire's eyes filled with emotion. "You gave us more than a gift, Mr. Reynolds. You gave my daughter hope." From that day forward, Ethan made sure Claire and Emily never struggled again. He offered Claire a job at Reynolds Toys Community Division and ensured Emily's education was fully sponsored. At Emily's next birthday, she didn't just have a Barbie, she had a family of people who cared. And for Ethan, the empty silence in his heart was finally replaced With laughter, light, and love sometimes. The smallest act of kindness can rewrite someone's entire story. Be the reason someone believes in goodness again. If this story touched your heart, like, share, and spread kindness because love multiplies when it's shared.